The world we live in is like a hungry ghost, and it tries to eat everyone. It tries to grab everyone's attention because it's so important what farmer did in New Zealand or Australia. Everything is so important these days that you have to know everything. Otherwise, what? You're gonna have your peace? You're gonna live more undisturbed life? You're gonna worry less? That's what we have at hand. There is a beautiful Buddhist saying, when desire rests, clarity awakens. So when you look at yourself now, what is pulling you? You will notice that something is pulling you. I need to do something. I want something. General in my life, I need something. Maybe my car is too old, I need an electric car. Or more troubles, generally. Nobody tells you about that. There are things that you assume you need. There are many things that you want. But imagine if you lived in a way that what you want, you get. But not what the personal self wants, not what the mind wants, what the soul wants, what God wants. So if you get what the soul wants, what God wants for you, you would see right away, very quickly, how the personal and mental desires are so small comparing to what the soul and God wants. Why? Because at the end, the swan, the soul, Kabir says, will fly away all alone. The spectacle of the world will be a mere fair. When the lifespan is complete, then listening to orders, following others, everything will be over. And the messengers of Yama or Kal are very strong. The messengers of desire are very strong. It's an entanglement with Yama or Kal. So at the end, the soul will leave all alone. And what then is truly important? What is important after this life? Just like an investor is thinking a few steps ahead where the market is moving, how to position in the market when not everybody's yet in it, when not everybody's jumping in it, because then it's already quite late. A wise investor looks at many cycles before and projects what will happen. What are the chances of this will go that way, and positions accordingly. So in your life, you are the real investor. You're even wiser than Warren Buffett. He has all the money, yet he lives a simple life. That's interesting. But he's still investing not in the right place, even though he's the most successful investor of all time. He will still have nothing, exactly nothing, when he leaves his body. He will have zero what he was investing his whole life in, and he's the most successful investor of all time. So, is he the wisest investor? He's the smartest, but not the wisest. Because when he leaves the body, he will have exactly nothing. So the wisest investors are those who realize the nature of the soul, who seek for God, because that is not only lifetime investment, it's not a generational investment, it's a multi-reincarnational investment, eventually becoming free from the cycles, the wheel of incarnation. So neither Maya, illusion, nor the mind dies. Speaking of karma, because the mind, the illusion, and karma carries on. Not the mind in terms of the knowledge you accumulated, but the karma of the mind carries on. The illusion carries on. Even though the body perishes again and again, the illusion carries on. The hope and thirst, which is desires, the cravings, they never die. Because the cravings outlive the body. They bind the soul even at death. So therefore, the biggest trickster, the biggest thief, is not Osama bin Laden, is not Iranian Strait of Hormuz toll collectors, is not the central bankers. The biggest thief and trickster is the Maya, because she spreads the net with her hands and speaks sweetly of desires, of what you should want, and then binds the soul to the material world. So we have identified the real problem at hand. And thus Kabir said, the world, all of it, has fallen in love with the dream. The whole world has fallen in love with the dream, with the wrong thing. Everybody wants to fall in love. It's a question, you fall in love with what? Because this world has fallen in love with the dream. And the affairs of the world will keep on going forever. You think AI is the end of it? You think robotics is the... No, it's going to be the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. It's going to go on and on and on and forever. Eventually, some people will go to live in Mars and build up the cities. Other planets, what they're gonna do there? We think that that's kind of, then we're safe. Who is safe? When people go and live on Mars, are you gonna feel safer here? Is your soul saved? No, the world goes on and on forever. So the affairs of the world will continue on another world with its own even bigger problems. What happens is that the nature of desire, the world is the master to distract you, to convince you, to pull you into the desires. The world, the illusion is the master of convincing. The world is brilliant, designed to pull you into the desires. But let's look a little bit deeper. What are the desires? At the deepest place, it is longing for happiness and to be loved. At the deepest level of desire, it is a hope of happiness and being loved. Isn't that why we buy a new thing? Because it makes us happy? Isn't that why we do everything we do? Because of this hope, longing for happiness and to be loved. And here is the solution, that only something as vast and deep as God can make you truly happy, lastingly happy. Because God is the source of happiness. Sat Purush is the source of happiness, source of love. Only something as vast and deep as God, the Supreme One, can make you truly and lastingly happy and being loved or being love. So therefore, clarity is important, because clarity is what shines the light on these great mysteries of life, of why we do what we do. It's interesting that humanity is driven forward, but the question is by what and where? We all agree that there is a progress, that humanity is advancing, but where and by what? Are we advancing in terms of being more happy and being more loved? If I go even 1,000 years back, I don't see a change in being truly happy and truly loved. Because in a smaller community of village life, farming, the crops, milking the cows, collecting the eggs of chicken, probably people were much happier than today. So have we really made a progress of being more happy and more loved? Very doubtful. There is only one country on the planet that measures progress not in GDP, but in the General Happiness Index, Bhutan. That is a progressive country. So if we come to realize the nature of humanity, our deepest desires for happiness, being loved, alignment with the spiritual path, we would have to restructure the whole world again and again and again. This clarity is rare because the world is definitely unclear. Now with AI, even the presidents and the biggest experts say, I don't know what's gonna happen. 20 years ago, they said, we know where we are going. We need to fight this. We need to fix that. Has to be done. That has to be done. And now we have no idea what AI will do to us. This is the world leaders speaking. Those who are developing the AI are saying they don't know what's gonna happen. Let's hope that things will be fine. Let's make sure that AI will like us. So clarity is of utmost importance. Clarity beyond the Maya illusion. And that's where awareness comes in. Yes, the non-dual awareness is good because we definitely need to see through duality. We need to see through the veiling force. So when you look honestly at your own life, in which situations or when do you notice your clarity, the moments of quiet, seeing things as they are, that things are no longer confusing, doubtful, fearful? You get this moment of clarity. Of course, when you meditate, when your mind stills, when your desires subside. We did have such a time in the human history called the Renaissance. The Renaissance was the awakening from the Middle Ages, from the slumber into creativity and beauty and expression and architectural and technological marvels, but through the creative power. The arts and sciences have flourished all together at the same time. I don't know how soon we will come to the second version of Renaissance. We see signs, yes. We can see signs on a global scale, but these are pre-Renaissance signs. It's not yet the Renaissance itself. We kind of are exiting the version 2 of Middle Ages. So in your personal life, just take a moment to sense the clarity of seeing things as they are versus being pulled, starting to use your mind, starting to analyze things, weigh things. Because when the mind is pulled, the veiling force automatically accompanies as a best friend. When your mind is pulled, Maya is pulling. The veiling force awakens. Not the good force awakens, the veiling force awakens. I want you to notice that difference between a moment of clarity, undistorted awareness, versus the moment when the pulling of the mind, desire, or energy takes into a foreground. And when the energy pulls you, accompanied with thoughts or feelings, emotions, wantings, not wantings, because not wanting is also a desire, by the way. I don't want this, that is still a desire. Why is life so difficult? That is also a desire. Why couldn't life be easier? That's also a desire. So what happens to your sense of peace, presence, when desire becomes strong, when you're getting pulled? It's a gentle jnana, a gentle inquiry. One more aspect we need to discuss is your attention, which gets pulled outwardly, or your attention gets pulled inwardly, for example, into a thinking process, into emotional process, into energetic process. And when your attention is pulled, have you observed the patterns? How it leaves you fragmented, reactive, or restless? So what is the inner cost to your natural clarity? What price you pay for your inner clarity? So one important practice, which we actually do every single time we meditate, we can say this is one of the foundational satsangs of introduction of meditation, why we meditate in Divine Marga the way we do, is withdrawal from the senses by focusing on a single point and then leaving the senses and the world. In yoga system is called Pratyahara. If you don't withdraw your attention away from the senses, you will not succeed in subduing your mind. Constant withdrawal is essential for clarity. So Pratyahara is withdrawal of the senses, otherwise mastery over external influences. Mastery over external influences. So we consciously direct our attention inwardly. We detach from external distractions. We concentrate the attention, and thus we prepare for a deep meditation and inner focus. Pratyahara means prati, which means towards or against, and ahara means food, nourishment. So we withdraw from the food that the sense organs consume from the outside world. A bit like a turtle. When the turtle is threatened, what does it do? It just like withdraws everything into the shell. The snail as well does the same thing, because their home is inside. So similarly, Pratyahara helps us to withdraw consciously from the external objects, the sensory perceptions, into a centered and concentrated point. Between the eyebrows and behind the third eye is where the energy of the soul collects. So it's a vital bridge between external practices, because external practices like asanas and even pranayamas are great for their own purpose, but more advanced yoga is internal. It's when we leave the senses, the body, the asanas, the breath, the pranayama, we leave them all. And we leave not by suppressing, but more like detaching. So we withdraw. I didn't say we suppress, we withdraw. We just step out. We don't disable your senses so you can't hear anything anymore. No, withdraw. We just step out, step away, so that these sensory inputs no longer distract you. And that's where the real work begins. So a quiet mind, focused attention, withdrawal from the senses, undisturbed by desires, fears, free from ideas, opinions, brings clarity. You start to get in touch with something much deeper, peaceful, and clear. You start to get in touch with reality, which is undisturbed. And of course, there are a lot of deeper levels, layers. That was the easy part, by the way, because then the difficult part is the inner experiences. What arises in the deep meditative states. That world is a million times more than the sensory world. The inner world, beyond the five senses, is millions of times more and bigger than the world of the senses.